So scary movies, like anything that are strongly generic, like westerns or musicals, have a boom-bust cycle. They go away for a while, and then somebody will make a really good one, and the public will say, oh yeah, I remember how much I love horror movies. And then, responding to those market forces, Hollywood and all the rest of the movie makers in the world make a whole bunch of them, and most of them are terrible, and people say, oh yeah, I remember, horror movies stink. And then they go away for a while. And we're in a bit of a bust cycle right now with horror movies, unfortunately. We've had a whole bunch of kind of anywhere from awful to kind of pretty good remakes of horror movie classics in the past couple of years. Stuff like the remake of The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was not very good, or The Hills Have Eyes, or The Last House on the Left, which actually was kind of worth watching. Now, but other than those, which to me don't really scratch an itch, because I've seen the originals, because I like horror movies, and when I watch the remakes, it's just kind of an intellectual exercise rather than a visceral, gripping experience, because I know what's going to happen. Other than those, it's kind of just the Saw movies, about which the less said, I think, the better. So rather than just sitting with our thumb up our bum and feeling sad about there not being any cool horror movies to watch anymore, we at thesubstream.com, along with the help of our friend Brad Miska from one of our favorite scary movie websites, bloodydisgusting.com, have put together a list of the top 5 plus 1 best Halloween horror movies to watch on Halloween when you're home at night, curled up on your couch with your loved ones. From Brad Miska at bloodydisgusting.com, number 1 is that old classic, The Chestnut, the progenitor, the innovative, groundbreaking Night of the Living Dead by George A. Romero. Maybe not the first zombie movie, but certainly one of the first, and the first huge, impactful zombie movies. Made for like no money, shot in one location. It's a bunch of survivors banding together at the start of the zombie outbreak. Really innovative, really scary, really fun to watch. And also the start of horror movie directors using that genre to talk about political issues like racism, making their films into allegories. And unfortunately, George A. Romero would continue down that path of using zombies as allegories for other things with mixed results. Number 2, from Brad, from bloodydisgusting.com. It's on the nose, but Brad is right. Just watch Halloween. John Carpenter and the Scream Queen, Jamie Lee Curtis. You watch it now and you think, man, this movie seems kind of like riddled with cliches. That's because this movie made those things cliches. It made them work. It defined and invented and made perfect the giant, mask-wearing, slow-moving, supernatural, slasher, stalker, murder dude movie. For a long time, it was the most successful independent film of all time, and for good reason. It's scary as hell, and it's got one of the all-time great horror movie scores, too. Number 3 from Brad at bloodydisgusting.com. We haven't seen it. We're not cool enough. It's showing literally at horror movie festivals all around the States tonight, other places, screen fests. Everybody loves it. Came out on DVD. Can't find the DVD anywhere. Rare as hen's teeth. Because all the cool horror movie dudes have gone and picked it up. If you can find it, go get it. Because Brad is pumping this thing up, and I trust Brad. Because we met Brad at the screening of Jennifer's Body, and he told us it wasn't going to be very good, and he was right. And Brad knows this shit. Is Trick or Treat. It was directed by Michael Dougherty, who was the guy that wrote X-Men 2, which is the best X-Men movie, and he also wrote Superman Returns, which is the worst Superman movie. It's getting incredible reviews, near unanimous praise. If you can find it somewhere, watch that. That's what I'm gonna do. Number 4, one of my sentimental 1980s favorites. A little bit weird, it's developed a cult following. It's not a masterpiece like the movies that we've been talking about so far, but you'll like it anyways, if you're anything like me, is Pumpkinhead. The directorial debut of physical effects master and effects master in general, Stan Winston, may he rest in peace. It's about a scary guy who, Pumpkinhead. It's awesome. I love that movie. One of my all-time favorites. This is the one where you're gonna watch it and you're gonna think, oh man. But just trust me. Just try and get in the spirit of Pumpkinhead and you'll enjoy it. Number 5, probably the craziest, most extreme movie I've ever seen. Martyrs, or Martyrs. It's a French/Canadian horror, endurance, torture porn piece of brilliance that, I don't know, I saw it a couple of years ago. It was the craziest movie I've ever seen at that point, and it still is. Nothing stopped it in the interim. I won't even describe the plot, because once you think you know what the plot is, it takes a left turn, and then you think you know what that left turn's all about, it takes another right turn, but it doesn't even take you back to where you started. It takes you into basically another dimension. And it's like the horror porn genre that was kind of inaugurated by guys like Eli Roth with the Hostel movies, or the guys that make the Saw movies, except it takes the weird, voyeuristic lightheartedness and kind of gross sense of humor out of those movies. That's not a bad thing. That weird sense of humor makes those movies kind of feel tawdry and makes you feel complicit. Takes that out of it, and it just becomes just an endurance of like the most horrifying, scary things that you've ever seen that are not real. They're fake. You have to keep telling yourself that, and it's really, 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 really extreme. So if you think that you know horror movies, watch that one, because it'll pop your top off. And the bonus one, the special bonus one for the weaklings out there, which I count myself among them, who don't want to get super scared, but want to get a little bit scared and also laugh their penis off their body, is The Stuff, one of the all-time great horror B movies. It stars Michael Moriarty, he of D.A. Stone from Law & Order, as an action hero, banded together with some children against an evil company selling alien dessert that some miners found in the ground in a mine, and it tastes like yogurt, and it kills people, and it's hilarious. So take any one of those 6 movies, all of them available, and if not now, they will be soon, on a little website called zip.ca, where you can go and sign up for a special offer where you can try it out, and they'll mail movies to your house, and you can curl up on your couch with your loved ones and your dog and watch one of their incredibly huge number of movies that they have in their back catalog. The reason I'm saying that is because if you go to our website, if you're on our website now, and click a zip ad, which you might have to refresh until you find it, but get one and then sign up for their trial, what do we get, Ryle? We get the money! So don't get too scared this Halloween. Watch some good movies. Give children candy. Don't be stingy. They tried hard. They really like chocolate. They can't afford big boxes of candy like you can. So just buy an extra box and give them 2 candies instead of 1 candy. Don't get too scared, because ghosts aren't real. Vampires are real, but they live in Oregon or Washington or whatever, and they have diamonds on their skin. And they're nice to you. They play baseball in the rain. So don't be scared of them. Frankenstein is dead. The Wolfman is actually real. Werewolves are real. But it's not a full moon, so relax and watch some cool, scary movies. See you next week.